The wind starts as a whisper, then it becomes a wall sand, hitting bronze helmets like 1,000 thrown stones. Somewhere in Egypt's western desert, tens of thousands of soldiers lose the horizon in seconds. Their waterskins vanish under drifts, their banners snap, then disappear. And when the storm finally passes, there's no army left to count. No survivors, no prisoners, no messengers limping back with a warning, just silence. Here's the twist. People still call this the lost Roman army, but Rome had nothing to do with it. This was the superpower of its day, the Achaemenid Persian Empire sending a force so large, ancient writers claimed it numbered 50,000. And then, according to the most famous version of the story, the desert erased it completely. To understand why an entire expedition could vanish, we have to rewind to the year 525 BC when Persia wasn't just expanding, it was swallowing kingdoms whole. Cambyses II, son of Cyrus the Great, had pushed his empire west and struck at one of the oldest, proudest civilizations on earth, Egypt. After defeating the Egyptians and taking control, Cambyses crowned himself pharaoh, turning conquest into legitimacy. But ruling Egypt wasn't only about holding cities and collecting taxes. It was also about controlling belief, because belief controlled obedience. And deep in the western desert, near the Libya-Egypt border region, sat a place that claimed a different kind of authority, the Oracle of Amun at the Siwa Oasis. Powerful figures traveled great distances to ask this oracle questions that could make or break kings. According to the ancient Greek historian Herodotus, Cambyses decided the oracle was a threat. So he did what emperors often do when confronted with an institution they can fully control. He sent soldiers, a lot of them. Their mission: intimidate, subdue, maybe even destroy the oracle's center of power. Now picture the challenge Cambyses' commanders accepted. The western desert isn't an empty sandbox. It's a shifting, deadly geography of dunes, rocky plateaus, and vast distances between water sources. The target, Siwa Oasis, lies hundreds of kilometers from the Nile Valley. Even today, it's remote. In 525 BC, it was the edge of the known world for most imperial bureaucrats. Herodotus' version is blunt and terrifying. Cambyses detached about 50,000 men, sent them from the area of Thebes, and they marched into the desert toward Siwa. Partway along the route, they stopped to eat. Then, a violent south wind rose an immense sandstorm and buried them. That's it. No heroic last stand. No final message scratched into stone. Just an army swallowed by weather. But here's the problem for modern historians. Stories like this can be weapons. Ancient authors exaggerated numbers. Kings spread propaganda. Local communities told cautionary tales. And an event as huge as 50,000 men vanished should leave a clear trail: equipment, bones, camps, mass graves. Yet no confirmed archaeological discovery has proven the fate of Cambyses' army beyond doubt. So the real mystery isn't just, did a sandstorm do it? It's what actually happened out there, and why does the desert still refuse to answer? Let's follow the expedition the way the men might have experienced it, day by day, step by step, mistake by mistake. The march begins with confidence. Persia is the winning machine of the era. Their logistics are proven. Their officers have authority. And from the Nile, the desert may look like a simple crossing. Walk west, find the oasis, crush resistance, return with proof of victory. But the desert doesn't care who rules Egypt. As the terrain opens up, sound changes first. The Nile's birds fade. The wind becomes constant. Footsteps squeak on sand. Metal heats so fast it can burn skin. And navigation becomes an art. Without landmarks, an army can drift miles off course in a single day. A haze can erase the sun. A gust can fill tracks behind you, deleting your own past like it never happened. And then there's water. The march isn't measured in miles. It's measured in skins, wells, and what you can carry. Lose one supply point, miss one oasis, and suddenly discipline collapses into desperation. That's why modern scholars often treat Herodotus' one sandstorm, total burial, as possibly simplified. A sandstorm could kill, yes, but so could dehydration, disorientation, and slow attrition. And somewhere between the Nile world and Siwa's palm-fringed isolation, the expedition reaches the point where turning back becomes harder than going forward. Then comes the moment every retelling circles back to the storm. In Herodotus' account, the army stops and eats, and the desert shifts from hostile to apocalyptic. A powerful south wind rises, visibility collapses. Sand doesn't just blow, it flows, like liquid that can climb, pour, and choke. Men shout to keep formation, but voices vanish into the roaring storm. Pack animals panic. Tent ropes snap. The line breaks, and the desert starts picking them off one cluster at a time. In a real sandstorm, terror isn't only what you see, it's what you can't. Direction becomes a guess. Breathing becomes work. Your world shrinks to the space inside your hood. Now multiply that by 1,000 soldiers, shields, carts, animals stumbling in different directions, all convinced the others are just over there. When the storm finally eases, survivors face a worse reality. The landscape has changed. Trails are erased. Dunes have moved. Landmarks are buried. The desert has literally rewritten the map. This is where the legend becomes absolute. The army is never seen again. Not as a unit, not as prisoners, not as refugees. In the ancient imagination, that silence proves total destruction. So what remains today besides the story? First, the correction. It wasn't Roman. The lost Roman army label is a modern myth that stuck because Rome sells lost legion became cultural shorthand for mystery. But this tale belongs to Persia, to Cambyses too, and to the fragile reality of ancient logistics. Second, the uncertainty. Herodotus is our headline source, invaluable, but not a field reporter. Modern researchers treat the account cautiously. Archaeology hasn't delivered a definitive smoking gun. Claims have surfaced over the years, bones, weapons, scattered artifacts, yet none have ended the debate in a universally accepted way. And that opens the door to darker human possibilities. Some theories suggest the force didn't die in one cinematic storm, but fragmented, ran out of water, and collapsed over days. Others suggest local forces could have ambushed a disoriented column. Oasis communities or desert fighters may have erased them from the record. Later, storytellers blamed the weather because it sounded inevitable. Either way, the legacy is the same. The Western Desert became a warning stamped into history. An empire can conquer cities, but still lose to geography. Now, I want to hear your verdict, because this mystery has room for more than one kind of truth. If you had to bet on one explanation, what really happened to Cambyses' lost army? A catastrophic sandstorm, a slow death by dehydration, and misnavigation, or a human enemy taking advantage of chaos? Drop your theory in the comments. Tell me what evidence would convince you beyond doubt. If you enjoy high-stakes historical mysteries where empires collide with the environment, hit the like button so I know to make more. Subscribe if you want the next investigation in your feed. Next time, we go deeper into desert legends, the truth behind lost legions, why some military disappearances become immortal stories, while others vanish without a trace.